Here is a disclaimer. We're not professional psychologists, but we care about mental health. We both want to see that the narrative surrounding the taboos about mental health are changed. We will be sharing tips based on reliable research and, of course, our personal experiences. We want a generation of Africans that is fully intentional about mental health, physical health, wellness, and personal growth. My name is Khadija, and I welcome you to MindOverMatter NG.
Let's talk about mental health. Hi there, welcome to our podcast, Mind Over Matter. Mind Over Matter is a mental health awareness campaign created by young Nigerians where no auntie or uncle will shame you or accuse you of having evil spirits.
This is a safe space for honest conversations about mental health in Nigeria. With this podcast, you'll be able to know how to spot signs of someone struggling, where to seek for help, and how you can help a friend or a family member. This is a safe space for honest conversations about mental health in Nigeria. With this podcast, you'll be able to know how to spot signs of someone struggling, where to seek for help, and how you can help.
Hopefully, this podcast will motivate you, educate you, and heal you of all your troubles. If not, it will at least get you through a car ride. Either way, we think you should listen.
Expect one episode from us every month and follow us on Instagram at MindOverMatterNG and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Welcome to our podcast. Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. If you're listening, welcome. It's been a long time coming. My name is Aisha Sambo and
My name is Khadija Abdullahi.
okay. So welcome to our podcast, Mind Over Matter. I and Khadija spoke about this podcast quite a while ago, and I think we're finally ready to start. We decided that at the beginning of each episode, we would give like a self-affirmation. And so I'm gonna say mine, and then Khadija will say hers as well. So my self-affirmation for the month is, I am and always will be good enough, smart enough, and strong enough.
My own self-affirmation is I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
I love that. So I'm just gonna run you through this episode. We're going to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about what we both do for a living. Then we'll tell you about how Mind Over Matter was created and why we decided to start this podcast. At the end, we're going to ask each other about what Mind Over Matter means to us. And finally, we'll let you know what to expect from this podcast, how often, and how you can support. So I'm going to let Khadija start by introducing herself and telling us what she does and, you know, why we decided to start this podcast together. Pra, pra, pra.
As you all know, my name is Khadija Abdullahi and I am a writer and a podcaster. I started Yana Podcast, which means you're not alone. During the COVID, that was when I started the podcast. And even though I am not consistent, I would like everyone listening to go and check out my episodes and listen to it and, you know, give me a feedback. I also decided to begin a cleaning business, Squeaky Clean, which I haven't really been paying attention to lately because I'm trying to build my freelance copywriting business. But yeah, we've been talking about this podcast for a long time, and for some weird
July, right?
yeah,
Since July.
we
No,
did. Was it July?
maybe like February.
Yeah, then we did the whole, you know,
We're gonna.
documentation, then we planned. And then we ghosted each other for a while because
We did.
we're
actually
all dealing with, you
Life.
know, life. And then, you know, I got a call from Shushi and she was like, we need to do this. And I said, yes, let's do it.
Like literally just yesterday, I was like, Khadija, how far our podcast?
And I actually thought of you in the morning. I thought of you. That was why when you called, I was like, you're going to live long.
We are going to live long,
Yes,
my dear.
inshallah.
Inshallah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we derailed a little bit, but basically you were talking about yourself, telling our audience what you do,
Yeah.
and yeah, basically why mind over matter.
So the reason why I decided to hop into this podcast is because already I started my own podcast, Yana, which I just mentioned. And then knowing Shushi and how passionate she has been about mental health just made me realize that I could actually collaborate with her, because at the end of the day we all need someone to work on projects with. You can't just carry a whole, I won't really say burden, but you can't carry something or a project and say you will do it alone. It's not possible.
Yeah.
We all need someone to, help us with one thing or the other. And yeah, it just helps. It takes a lot of, stress from your own end and from my own end. So yeah, I just decided, yes. And Shushi's a nice person. And I'm like, okay, let's
Oh,
just
you're
do
so
it.
sweet too, girl.
Let's just do it.
All right, that's amazing. All right, so about me. This question, don't even know sometimes how to answer it, but I think I'm getting better at doing it. So I have this ethos, right? As a woman, I believe that we are more than one thing. Like for the rest of our lives, at some time of our lives, our roles will change. And so for me, I would say my role in life will definitely continue to change and evolve. But the vision and the goal, my purpose, I hope will stay the same. So at the moment, I consider myself a communication strategist, a writer, film, and creative director. I really enjoy public speaking, dancing, singing, designing. I love fashion. And I like art. I love boxing. I currently work at Elamin International School, my alma mater, and I started a production company called Shoebox Productions and an accessory brand called Shushi in 2019. So most people call me Shushi. You even have heard Khadija say Shushi Shushi, and I introduce myself as Aisha Sambo. So yeah, you can call me Shushi as well. You can refer to me as that by that name. That's fine. I use that name for when I direct for film as well. It's also the name of my accessory brand. So, have I missed anything, Khadija?
No, you haven't.
Okay. Okay, I think I did a decent job, right? Of like
Yes.
summing up all the things that I do. Because
Yes.
I always get this like perception from people that, oh, Shushi's so busy, she does so many things. Which is not far from the truth. But I would definitely say that having always been asked, introduce yourself or what do you do, sometimes I honestly don't know what to say because I feel like I'm figuring it out too. So sometimes the outside perception is that, oh, Shushi has it all figured out. But guys, I do not. I still figured it out. And alhamdulillah for like being able to just craft how I feel I want to live my life. Not a lot of us, I think, have the courage or willpower to say, this is what I want to do and I'm going to try my best to do that. So yeah, I love being around children. I've always had an interest for education and the media. I'm also the co-founder of Y4Y, which is short for Youth Foundation, which leads me to why MindOverMatter started. So, story time. First of all, I want to give like a big thank you to the two NGOs that actually kickstarted this initiative in 2019. MindOverMatter was created by two NGOs as an initiative that focused on desensitizing the public on the negative stigma surrounding mental health in Nigeria. The campaign aimed at initiating conversations on mental illnesses and identifying possible signs of mental illnesses and where you can seek help and even help yourself, right? Because let's not lie, we're in Nigeria, where you need to literally help yourself most of the time. So the names of the foundation are NIM Foundation and Green Youth for Youth Foundation, for short, Y4Y. So both NGOs have their headquarters in Abuja. NIM Foundation is a crisis response organization committed to promoting the protection and well-being of communities living in affected areas with like conflict, violence, and Youth for Youth. Our vision is to create and promote volunteerism, because at Y4Y we believe freely giving your time and labor to your community can lead you towards discovering your purpose. Yeah. So one of the most impressive things for me at that NIM Foundation does is they offer psychological and psychosocial support for Boko Haram victims. Like, how amazing is that?
It's very good.
I don't know of many organizations that are focusing on, Boko Haram victims. There's so many women and children who have been affected by the insurgencies across Nigeria. And so it's just so refreshing to see an organization that is really trying to help people who have been through what I cannot even imagine. As for Youth, one of the greatest accomplishments, I think, for me is having been able to sponsor a TEDx event. A TEDx event? 3 TEDx events, actually. And, we've always used Y4Y volunteers to execute the events. And I had one of the most exhilarating volunteering experiences of my life, like planning, organizing. I really do enjoy anything that has to do with directing film, photography, events. I'm just all for that planning. So as one of the co-founders of Y4Y, I'm really proud of our team. I mean, I think a lot of who I am is based on the kind of people I keep around me. And I'm really fortunate to have like such supportive, loving friends that will always just want to jump on board, my ideas or someone else's ideas. And I think it also stems back from like all of these friends of mine. We all went to El Amin. And if you went to El Amin, that's El Amin International School, you will see that we're such a tight-knitted group of people. We're actually like family, and it's just so nice. Alhamdulillah. And I'm also very proud of Dr. Fatima Ikilu. She's the executive director at NIM Foundation. She also happens to be a well-experienced psychologist. You guys should check her out. And she and her team have made really impactful behavioral change in the northeast region of Nigeria. I remember us inviting her as well to speak at our TEDx event. So you can watch her TED Talk online. In a way, you could say both organizations found each other. Within a year, we created this baby called MindOverMatter. I would also say that both organizations have a shared concern for the minds of young people. In Africa. So in 2019, we ran this mental health awareness campaign from June to October. You'll find videos online, actually. And while this was an online campaign, we did have a physical event where we invited Abuja residents to walk in solidarity with, just anyone suffering from any type of mental illness. We started this advocacy interviewing 21 Nigerian participants between the ages of 21 to 60 years old. We asked them about what mental health means to them. We asked them to share their experiences dealing with any, mental challenges, all of which is still on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. Just search for MindOverMatter NG. And over a period of 5 months, we kept on posting different videos from different people, We have Adama Indimi on that podcast. Khadija was on that pod. Were you there?
No, I
No,
wasn't.
it was what's her name? She does yoga.
Okay, the Insanity Yoga, Khadija. I don't know her son name, but she's also called Khadija.
But
Yes.
she's also called Khadija.
Yeah.
Yes, Khadija was also on that
Fakriya.
podcast. Fakriya was
Yes,
there.
El-Rufai, Nasru El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, was also there.
Yeah, so all these videos are on our YouTube channel, so you can watch them. I think they're really good. On the 10th of October 2019, we organized an awareness walk with our partners. And there was NIM Foundation, Reconnect Health Development Initiative, Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative, short for MANI, International Social Humanity Foundation, Olive Prime, Talk Mentality, and Lycée Regimen. I think I pronounced that right. These organizations all contributed to the success of the event. They were all there, present, to advocate for seeking mental health support, as they all offer psychological support in Abuja. We believe it's really important to connect our audience with organizations. And so we're hoping that through this podcast, we would be able to recommend to you, where you can go to seek help, or, just even tips based on reliable research.
And what we also do personally.
Yeah, what we personally do, because there's no harm in sharing. So, yeah. We want to continue to raise awareness about mental health, both I and Khadija, through this podcast to meet the goals of the initiative. And you can read more about the campaign on our Instagram page and on the YouTube page. We have 4 main focal points, which I'll allow Khadija to read out.
So the first focal point is response, using messages to create a greater capacity amongst Nigerian youths on how to spot signs of mental or psychological illness, and to find appropriate ways to respond to it. Then the second focal point is the awareness. We want to create greater awareness amongst Nigerian youths on the need for seeking for mental health support. The third one is innovation. So we're trying to develop innovative communications and messaging strategies for reaching out to youth both at urban and rural areas.
Hence this podcast, right? This is one of the communication and messaging strategies that we're trying to use to raise awareness. And even though this is a podcast and it may not be available to, the majority of the Nigerian population, we're really hoping that with time it will be available on radio, because we all know that radio is still
The fastest and the easiest way to reach out to a lot of people.
Exactly, especially in Nigeria. So, yeah.
The last on my list is the legislation and policy. We're working with the relevant agencies to begin a national discourse on the need for a strategic framework to guide the provision of mental health care in Nigeria. And I was actually thinking of something, sure. So I was thinking of trying to, implement these podcasts into school system, educational system.
Okay.
Because I feel like, yes, we are we're after our parents, it's our own generation, but a lot of us still hide away from that. We need mental health support and all of that. But the kids, the ones that are still growing,
they still have a chance.
Yes.
There's still a chance to capture their attention.
Exactly.
And you know what? I read this study that children or adolescents, young people, their first point of contact when they're dealing with mental health issues is actually not their school. It's actually not the parents. It's their peers.
Yes.
So if I'm, say, 14, 16 years old, and I have the knowledge of being able to respond to somebody who's, potentially suicidal because they're being bullied, then I think we're meeting some of our focal points.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that is such a brilliant idea, being able to plug in some of these communication strategies and, messages to schools.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If we can do that in Abuja, it will be amazing. Just sharing the podcasts, the Instagram handle, because you'll be surprised. A lot of kids in school, they know how to use their phones. If they don't have phones, their parents' phones.
You're right.
Yeah, so having that into, schools will not only inform kids, but it will make them know that, okay, for example, I'm dealing with, depression or anxiety, and Shu and Khadija mentioned on their podcast that, okay, this is how to deal with anxiety, or these are the agencies we can seek help from. Kingani.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
like
it's a good one. And by the way, when I was much younger, when I was dealing with a lot of things, it was really, really hard for me. And it started when I was around, the primary school, secondary school, and it really affected me because I didn't really have a lot of friends. So imagine bottling up all those emotions.
My period of struggle was secondary school. Man, Hausa girls are mean. I'm just gonna outrightly say it. Yes, because once they're in a clique,
Yeah.
oh my god. But the truth is, growing up, looking back then, I really used to think I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. And now I'm in my 20s and I'm like, whoa, I thought I had problems then. Problem no they finish.
It doesn't.
In this life.
It doesn't.
So everyone truly needs to know how to handle their emotions, understand themselves, where those emotions are coming from. And it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Hence why maybe you need to see a professional.
Yeah.
And which is why we're here, which is why, we wanted to start this podcast. This is what Mind Over Matter means to us. And, I'm really excited, Khadija. Like, I'm happy that we've started. I feel like starting has always been the hardest part for us because we've spoken about this for so long, wanting to launch, and we're finally here. So how often should people expect to hear from us, and what should they expect from this season of Mind Over Matter?
So people should actually expect episodes at least once a month. And in between, we're going to be sharing bonus episodes where we have, conversations with guests, with friends. It could be anything.
I feel like it's good that now, alhamdulillah, we have each other, because then we can hold each other
accountable. Yes.
Yeah, because for me, this procrastination has just been on and on and on. It's either, no, I want to get the best mics before we start, or, oh, no, Khadija, we need money before we start.
Or we need a studio.
Yeah, but right now we're sitting down in a room in our house and just try to wing it, but with structure. Khadija, we're coming to the end.
Yeah, we are.
And, if you want to support us, support what we're doing, you could always reach out, donate to us, fund us, tell people about us, however you feel. And let us know what you would also like to hear from us. Your feedback is really important to us. We want to grow this podcast and this community in Abuja, in Nigeria, and across Africa. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm happy to be here. And this is the end of season 1, episode 1 of Mind Over Matter NG. Thank you so much for listening, guys. You can find us on Instagram and you can find us on YouTube as well. If you want to follow me personally, my Instagram handle is at S0018001. Please do not ask me why my Instagram name are numbers. I'm saving that for my interview with Oprah. I'm saving that explanation from then. How about you, Khadija? And tell
Well,
them about Yana podcast as well. Where can they listen to it? Instagram handles.
so for my personal account on Instagram is influential D. So the influential is, the normal spelling INFLUENTIAL, then underscore D. That's DEE. I hope you guys got it. So for the Yana podcast is Yana as in YAN underscore podcast.ng. You guys can, follow, listen to the episodes I have, and send me what you think, your reviews, and hopefully I'm going to continue that that podcast. Hopefully,
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe
yeah,
Mind Over Matter will take all of your time, or maybe Mind Over Matter will encourage you to,
yeah, do
push
yeah,
more with
yeah,
Yana podcast.
yeah.
I love the name, by the way, and I think your voice is so soothing.
Thank you, thank you.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I know it's tough right now. The country and the world
The world
seems like a very scary place. But I'll give you a fun fact. The world has actually never been as safe as it is. It's hard to believe, right? But the only reason why you feel we're in such deep is because the news travels more now.
Yeah, fake
And
news, a lot of fake news.
yeah, and don't forget, bad news sells.
Yes.
So my final message is, let's be intentional about what we put out there. There are already enough bad people in the world. There are already enough problems in the world. So why not just choose to be good? Why not just choose positivity? We're really hoping that this podcast will inspire you. We're hoping this podcast will motivate you, educate you, on how to better take care of yourself. So until next time, let's keep talking about mental health.
Bye.